Welcome back to the Off the Glass podcast. I'm your host, B Hooks. And on this episode today, we got Denver or Miami. NBA Finals, baby. Who you got? Let's go. All right, so before we get started, man, y'all make sure y'all go ahead and hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe. That way, when I do go live or I make videos, you'll get those posts, okay? So let's get right into it, man. Let's get right into it. We got Miami versus the Denver Nuggets, NBA Finals, Game 1. It was a complete domination from start to finish from Denver. From what we've seen as far as, you know, the basis of the game and the way that Denver was playing, it just seems like they're too big, man. They're too big for Miami right now. You got JOKIC. He's dominating the post, dominating, working on the paint. First ever triple double in the NBA Finals. First of all, let's get that out the way, man. First of all, we have to respect Jokic for who he is, man. The Joker, baby. The Joker. 27 points, 10 rebounds, 14 assists in the NBA Finals first premier game. We really have to respect him as a player. Even though Joel Embiid won the MVP this year, the Joker's is definitely my MVP. He's definitely shown his respect. He's gained my respect, and we definitely should give him his flowers, man. But overall, in the game, Murray, he had 26 points, working ins and out, doing it on the pick and roll, first bucket of the game, going straight to the hoop. There's nobody on Miami that's a rim protector. And in this series, you're going to need a rim protector. If you don't have that rim protector, it's going to be easy for the others, as far as that's on Denver team, to keep on getting those easy buckets, keep on getting those easy layups. Being able to work in the paint, and then if they collide and they come inside, with Bam Adebayo, they're going to just dish it out to a three-point shooter, and they're going to shoot well. Now, Denver didn't particularly shoot well in this series, and they still made it. In this game 1, and they still made it look easy. So it's a lot of things that Miami is going to have to clean up. And right now, guys, I don't know. I don't know if the adjustments that that Spoelstra is going to make. He's a hell of a coach, one of the best coaches in the league. I'd say top 2. Other than Tyronn Lue. The game is all about adjustments, right? So what adjustments will Miami make to make sure that they can either stay close? So we can either feel like it's going to be a series, or guys, yeah, it's coming. It may be a 4-0 sweep, baby, in the finals, man. I'm hoping that it's not, because I do want to see a good series, but you got to look at it on the other side. Hemi Buckets Butler, baby. 13 points, man. Hey, I give it to you. You proved me wrong in that first. You proved me wrong last series. And I love it for you, man. I love it. Let's go. But Hemi, 13 points, that's not going to get it done. Maybe that's just a first game adjustment, getting used to the finals, not being in the bubble. You got fans around, that type of atmosphere is definitely different. It's definitely different from the bubble, because you actually have fans, and now, the crowd, the atmosphere is just totally different. And I know you can step up to the plate and show us, keep on showing us what you do. 13 points is definitely not going to get it done. But I believe in you, Jimmy. You showed us last round what you could do. You just got to, put yourself in better positions, maybe, in a pick and roll game, or slipping off the back picks, going behind screens, keeping the rotation, keeping the ball moving. That's the way you probably can get open a little bit more. But as far as Bam Adebayo goes, 26 points that he had in the first game. I think he played pretty well. Now, he's not a rim protector, but he will be able to be some type of presence. But if he's the only, big man that you really have on your team, other than like, Kevin Love, but if Bam gets in foul trouble, who do you have coming in? So he may not be as aggressive on the defensive end for the simple fact that it's like I can't get in foul trouble. If I get in early foul trouble, hey, if he gets 2 fouls early in the game, he's going to the bench. They're subbing in somebody else, and then that offensive flow is just not going to be there. That rim protector, that they need. Is definitely not going to be there with Bam not on the floor. So you got to look at it like, how are certain ways that that Coach Spoelstra can get Bam Adebayo, not to be in foul trouble. Keeping the pace of the team and just making sure that hey, if your man gets beat in the front half of the court, make sure that I'm at that free throw line or I'm in the paint waiting, to go straight up, hands up. If you go straight up with your hands up, hey, it won't be a foul. But a lot of players, you got to be technical and you got to be foundationally sound. And if you're not, you'll draw that foul. Vincent, man, what a story on this guy. 19 points, undrafted player, was in the D League, was shifting around a couple of teams, and he found a home out here in Miami. So, salute to you. Big salutes to you, man. He had 19 points. He was a player that stepped up major in that game one, but it just wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. What I see as far as, the adjustments that Coach Pro is probably going to make is 2-3 zone, right? I know, when NBA, teams, when they run that 2-3 zone, it's like, okay, we may not have that type of defense where we can just play one-on-one. So they got to try and keep Joker out of the paint. They got to try and keep him out of the paint. And one of those ways you can do that is playing that 2-3 zone, making sure that you're sliding on defense, your hands is up, you're active, getting after those 50-50 balls. And just like the pure hustle can definitely change the game. But as far as like the offensive impact, that's going to happen. Jimmy Butler, he's definitely going to have to step up. He's going to have to step up more. Denver's going to make adjustments too. You got to understand, like either, even though Joker and Murray, they were the top point getters, for the team, but the others that's on there, they're backing them down. They're just bigger. They're just naturally bigger. So if they get them on the island, on the post somewhere, and they're backing them down, they can just go for the layup, go for the dunk. And then it's caused the other players that normally helps out on the defensive side for them not to have that rotation. Because if they have that rotation, trying to double team a player that's in the paint, they're just going to kick it out, like I said earlier, for that three. And once they shoot that three, or they go off, from they go off from like a 10 point, from a 10 point to 15-0 run, right? Those things can easily happen. And, it just depends on what Miami's going to do. They got to bring that fire. I don't look to see or think that there's going to be like any lineup changes or anything major. Major as that right now, but probably look forward to that like in game 3 if Miami loses by 15 to 20 points. If they lose by 15 to 20 points on Sunday, there will be a lineup change. There's going to have to be a player that's going to come in and hustle, probably bang things around, try and get Joker tired a little bit more, and make him work. You got to make him work on defense, because if not, hey, they swept the Lakers 4-0 last series, so they're well rested. And then with them being in Denver, with that altitude that's up there, you can see the players huffing and puffing, definitely huffing and puffing. Because that altitude is crazy, man. So, and that plays a part in it too. That plays a part in it as well. And that's just something that Miami is going to have to try and get used to. And they're going to have to get used to it fast. Because, like, when I tell you, from game 1, Hopefully they show a better outing in game 2, but this was the worst game of the NBA playoffs that Miami has played up to this par. Up to this level, pretty much, because it's just like, hey, Jimmy Butler has to do it alone. Or if his others are not stepping up, like Duncan, he was nowhere to be found. Duncan was nowhere to be found. Some of his other players and other teammates, it's like, when they go back to Miami, they'll hit a couple of shots, they'll hit a couple of threes, try and get their confidence. But it's going to be hard, guys. Like, it's going to be hard. Like, have you guys ever been in a situation where you're on the road, NBA Finals? Well, hell, I haven't even been in that situation. But the thing is that I know for a fact, for sure, 100%, that pressure is unsurmountable, man. So, you don't want them to go down 2-0 by losing big. If they go down 2-0 and they lose by 5 to 10 points, then then Miami definitely can pull out, games 3 or 4, depending on how much the loss is by. But you guys let me know, in the comment section, who you guys got for this series. It's definitely gonna be a good one. Depending on game two, we want it all to be a good one. But I don't know. I gotta check the viewers, as far as like if this finals, like how many viewers is watching this finals. Because at the start of the season, I don't think anybody selected Denver and Miami to be in the finals, right, guys? I know I didn't. Personally, I didn't. I was rooting for King James. He lost 4-0, and then my home team is the Mavs. So, for Luka and all them, but that's another story for another day, guys. But yeah, I think that Jokic, man, like, this guy's different, man. Like, this guy's different. Like, I've seen the Dirks of the world. I've seen, the Deadly Shrimps of the world, Peja Stojakovic, all these, Tony Parkers, Giannis, all these international players that are really good and they're really shining on the biggest platform and the biggest stage. I think that the Joker, he doesn't really get as much credit because he's not as flashy. He's not as flamboyant as the American players are. If we dunk on you, boom. We pointing in your face, laughing at you, doing all those things. But he sticks to the game. He never cheats the game, and you can tell that by his size. And this dude never gets tired. It looks like he really never gets tired. Like, he's used to that altitude, and he works out every day. Like, for real, man. Like, salute to Jokic, man. Like, this may be his first ring, and then after this, guys, do we talk dynasty? Do we talk dynasty for Denver? Because with Murray coming on. And I actually think that Murray can be better than what he is now, because he's still coming back from that injury. And normally it takes about a full year or two before a player really reaches his full potential, coming back from that injury, right? And if he's playing like that now, oh, Lord have mercy. Imagine what it could be next year or the year after that, right? So I look forward to Denver's future. I look forward to, what they have going on in Denver. I'm happy for Denver. This is the first time that, the Denver Nuggets has reached the NBA Finals. And for them to play like that in game 1, it was like there was no nerves. Like, come on, guys. Y'all seen the game. I seen the game. So we just have to put that in perspective. Like, we have to respect a player's ability, and I'm gonna respect his ability, man. And you know, like I said before, salute to the Joker, salute to the Denver Nuggets, and I'm not counting Miami out though. With Coach Spo, I'm not counting Miami out, but there's gonna have to be some changes made, man. They're gonna have to make some adjustments. Probably going to a 2-3 zone. You know, picking the ball up full court. Like, you know, pick the ball up full court. That way you can tire out some of these players, you know, like Murray. If you can try and get him tired to where you got to make him think, you got to start making these players think. Because if not, and they're just playing the game, like I said before, guys, it's easier when you're just playing, but when you're thinking about the game, when you're thinking about it, and you got to make those, you know, those slight adjustments as far as in the game. Come on, like, you know, we definitely got to figure out. They definitely got to figure out a way to make sure that, you know, they can make this team think, and then they can just kind of, you know, get them off their pace, you know, get them off their rhythm, knock them off their spots. If Joker's always, you know, if he's at the free throw line at the paint, he's backing you down, you know, doing his back down. Oh, I like that. But doing his back down and all that, guys, like, we got to understand, like, hey, he's going to dominate. He's gonna dominate, and one thing they might do is let Joker because Joker, he's more of a passer than he is a scorer. To be honest with you, like, even though he got his triple double and he does get his points, but he like to get his teammates involved, right? So one way to take, you know, a certain aspect out of his game is maybe let Joker get his. Let Joker go off for 50. Matter of fact, let him get 60, right? So that means that Murray, he had got what? It was 26 points. Maybe Murray points is like 15, right? You know, so, and this is the thing, because the Joker is the engine of the Denver Nuggets. He's the engine of the Denver Nuggets. And Murray, I say Murray is like the driver, right? He's like the driver of the car. So, and when Murray, if you look back, you know, in previous series or in previous games in the regular season, when Murray gets off, like we've seen when JOKIC, when he scores and it's only him, they could lose the game. But if Joker plays the way he plays and then Murray steps up too and he's getting points and scoring buckets, they seem like they're unbeatable. They seem like they're unbeatable. So one thing that I think that you know, that Miami might do is go ahead and let Joker get his, and then shut everybody else down. Whether or not you don't one-on-one with Joker, and just making sure you're guarding everybody out on the wings, making sure that, you know, Porter Jr. is not getting in the game, making sure the others are not really hurting you as much as they did in game one, guys. So, but y'all let me know, you know, in the comments section, you know, who you guys got. I'm pretty sure, after game one, a lot of people's going to be riding with Denver. But like I said before, man, the game is about adjustments, and, you know, and really making those on, you know, in-game adjustments that Coach Spo can make. So once again, man, this is Off the Glass Podcast. Thank you guys for watching. And we out, baby. Let's go.